Today on Renee's Kitchen, see how far your dollar can stretch without sacrificing flavor. Join Renee as she makes a super easy, budget-friendly casserole to feed your hungry family in the winter.
Hey, welcome to Renee's Kitchen, Budget Cooking Edition. This is my second episode of Budget Cooking with Barnabas Vision, and every month I'm trying to make food for a family of four for $10 or less. So this month, it's still cold outside and we want like warm comfort food. I decided, you know what, we're gonna kick it back to the 80s and make a dish my mom used to make for us. It's the Sausage and Rice Casserole with green beans. And it looks like tons of ingredients, but it is, let's see, how much is it? $10.58 plus tax. If you use the generic brands, except for a couple of ingredients, which we'll talk about soon. So what I'll do is we'll get the sausage casserole started, and then we'll work on the green beans. So the oven's preheating to 350 degrees. I'm gonna open the sausage. You need 1.5 pounds of sausage. You can use ground beef if you want. It's a little bit more expensive, actually, than the generic sausage. And just in case that gives you the heebie-jeebies, generic sausage, let me just say that when I make sausage balls for events, I use the off-brand sausage, and people are always asking me, what did you do? What did you put in these sausage balls? So I don't know if it's got like a little more fat in it or something that makes it better, but it always turns out really great. So you only need 1.5 pounds, so I got one roll and half of the other one. You can save the other half, or you can just use it in this casserole. Okay. I've got the sausage going, the pan is heating, and while that's starting to sizzle, we're going to work on our vegetables that go in it. We have a stalk of celery, and you know, we have these like little bits and pieces from the celery stalk. I love it. The celery leaves are full of flavor, so I always like throw a little bit in extra. So I'm just gonna chop this kind of small. I just love chopping vegetables. It's kind of like therapeutic. It's very satisfying to see it all lined up in a row. All right, so that's our celery. Also, you're supposed to take 5 green onions. This little package of green onions has 7. I'm just gonna use them all because they don't keep all that long in your fridge. Cut the little root ends off. We'll get rid of that. And just chop it up kind of small. You also could use just a regular onion, or half an onion probably would work if you didn't have green onions. But the green onions were actually like pretty cheap, under 50 cents. And it adds nice color. Okay, now let's go check on the sausage and see how it's coming. All right, now the next set of vegetables I'm gonna chop is a package of mushrooms. Now, my mom growing up, I don't know why, but she just didn't buy fresh mushrooms. She just used a can of mushrooms, which you can totally do. It might make it a little bit cheaper. These mushrooms were like $1.50 for a box, and I think a can of mushrooms is under $1. So you just trade off cost for quantity. And some people say, you know, don't rinse your mushrooms too much because they're going to get waterlogged. Not true. It's fine. Just to give them a quick rinse, and then cut the little bit of the stem off. Just cut that off, and then slice them up however you like. You can make them medium size. You can make them small. Doesn't really matter. all this is going in, the celery and the green onions and the mushrooms, they're all going in once that sausage is done. So I'm just piling it up here on the tray. I love mushrooms. You can get portobello mushrooms too. These are white mushrooms. The portobello ones are really good. Like the baby portobellos, they're still about this size. Okay, those are all cut up. I'm gonna pitch these stems and just peek at that sausage. It should be almost done. It's only been like 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, this is done, and you can see how much grease is in there. I'm definitely gonna drain this. So I've got my colander here. Give it a quick little drain. And now I'm going to add these vegetables into the pan. It's got a little bit of sausage grease in there to make it nice and yummy. And we'll get this sauteing. Now, the recipe says just let this saute for like 3 to 5 minutes until it's softened a little bit, and then we'll do the final stage before we pop it in the oven. So, I'm going to cover the pan of mushrooms and celery and green onions because those mushrooms will release their liquid and just cook down a little faster. It'll just make it go a little bit better. And I'll check on that in just a few minutes. So we want to go ahead and spray our 9x13 dish. Almost everybody's got that, right? Glass 9x13. Guess if you were cooking for a smaller family, you could do maybe 2 small 8x8s or something. But the pan's ready. What we're going to do as soon as the vegetables are cooked down is we are going to add the sausage back in, and then we're going to add our 2 name brand products. So Uncle Ben's long grain and wild rice. It is a small little box. I went and asked my mom after I got these ingredients. I'm like, really? This little box of rice and this little package of soup are what you use to make that? And she said, yeah, it cooks. It gets expands as it cooks, and it makes enough for a whole 9x13. So this little package of Uncle Ben's, it's 6 ounces. So it's kind of small. And you're going to use Lipton chicken noodle soup mix in a packet. And the box comes with 2 pouches, and we do use both of the pouches. But even with these, it's still like $10.58 for the whole meal with the green beans. So I figured that was pretty good. No wonder she made that for us. We had a family of 5. 2 hungry boys, so it really did go nice and far. I'm gonna check on the vegetables, and then we'll do the final stage. All right, we're almost there, just like another minute, and we'll be ready. Okay, those mushrooms are getting nice and golden. They look so good. So, sausage is going into the pan. Rice, dumping it into the pan. 2 packets of chicken noodle soup mix, dumping it into the pan. And then 4.5 cups of water. Gently poured over that and gently stirred. Here we go. You notice that we're not putting any salt and pepper in there. It's because this prepackaged stuff has plenty of seasoning in it. So I sprinkled the rice over. Here's the seasoning packet. It's just going straight in as well. Alright, you see how big of a skillet I'm using? It is really full. And it's about to be even more full with all this water. you do want a really big skillet because that thing is filled all the way to the top. We're gonna let that simmer, I think it's 15 minutes. Gently pour, yeah, simmer it for 15 minutes. Then we're gonna pour it into here and we're gonna bake it. And it's gonna cook for 90 minutes, which seems kind of long, I know, but it's, you see how fast this was. It was so easy. And while that is simmering, we're gonna do stage 2, which is our green beans. So easy. Now, I grew up on canned green beans. They're really pretty good, especially this brand. I like this brand from Walmart. They're nice and bright green, and they're really good. This can was $1.98. So 2 of our $10 is our green beans. As a mom, I always feel like you gotta have something green. So we're gonna open this up, throw a little seasoning in it, and I just let it simmer while the sausage casserole is cooking, and then you're done. Got my little pan here, ready to go. That is really full. I don't know if you can see that, but like it's almost full to the top. So there's that, but they're not good just by themselves. I'm gonna do 1 little bay leaf in there. You can use whatever you've got. Definitely some salt and pepper. My mom always put chicken bouillon, so you can get it the little cubes. This is just a little tub. You can see the powder chicken bouillon. I'm gonna put like a teaspoon in, I guess. We'll just see how it tastes. And you always save your bacon grease, right? Surely you always save your bacon grease. We live in the South. You gotta cook with bacon grease. So I'm gonna put a little bit of bacon grease in there. Or you can just put like a piece of bacon in. Sometimes my mom would do that. Or if it was the holidays and we had some country ham, she'd put that in there. I'm just gonna stick this on the stovetop and get it going. One more thing my mom always put in our green beans was a little bit of red chili flakes. Don't do too many or you won't be able to eat it. But just a few little flakes, toss it in there for flavor. Okay, and that's it. We're gonna let that simmer. We'll pour it into the dish and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, it's been 15 minutes. You can see that was enough time for me to straighten up, stick the stuff in the dishwasher. This really could not be easier, y'all. I'm gonna put the casserole into our 9x13 and cover it, pop it in the oven. It's huge, it's heavy, so just do the best you can. I'm gonna try and gently dump it. There we go. Now I can kind of scrape the rice and stuff out. And the noodles. I love the noodles in this, from the little instant chicken noodle soup. They're so yummy. This really was a fabulous 80s dish. Maybe 70s dish. So it's still kind of soupy, but that's gonna all get absorbed while we cook it. All right, 90 minutes at 350 degrees. We'll tell you what it tastes like in just a few minutes. Okay, so it's been in the oven for about an hour and I just called my mom and I was like, do I just let it go? And she said that she stirs it a couple of times during the 90 minutes. So I'm gonna check on it and see. She said if it's already absorbed all the water, you need to add just a little bit more. So I'm gonna peek and see what it looks like. Ooh, hot. I'm gonna come peek at it. Come on over. Okay, this is looking completely absorbed. Oh my. Yeah, let's do just a little bit more water. Give it a little stir. right, this is just a cup more of water. Just gonna pour that on. All right. Get that in there. And I'm gonna cover it and finish cooking. Okay, we're ready to try it. It's been 90 minutes. You can see it's just fluffy, yummy. Honestly, when I was a kid, I thought this was just rice. I didn't know it was rice and noodles.
I'm going in.
We've had this before, but we're gonna taste it, tell you what we think.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. It's hot. This is classic.
Oh yeah.
Like, classic 1980s comfort food.
I was gonna say total comfort food.
Bringing it back. We did not add any salt or pepper to this, which, you know, I'm a big seasoning person. I do not like under seasoned food. It doesn't need it. It doesn't need salt and
It's
pepper.
really, really good. Great
Those
balance.
seasoning packets are like plenty. And you want to cook your green beans down, like you want a lot of that liquid gone, because then you're gonna have the flavor. That's good. Again,
What'd you put in them?
just chicken bouillon and bay leaf and bacon grease.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, a little bit of red pepper. So definitely try this. Make yourself an 80s fabulous comfort food dinner. We'll see you next time on Renee's Kitchen.